Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I'm going to talk about other basic terms related to trigonometry. The terms that you should be familiar with. For example, what is the meaning of angle of rotation? And in this context, it can be described as a positive or a negative angle. So when you talk about positive angle, it means that the angle is moving in a counterclockwise rotation. And when you talk about a negative angle, it means the angle is moved according to a clockwise rotation. So this is counterclockwise. It starts from this is the terminals, this is the initial side. So it starts from here, moving in a counterclockwise rotation. And it stops here. And this is what we call the terminal side. Okay, so this is a counterclockwise rotation. This is a positive angle. So the angle is 135 degrees. And similarly for this one, this is also a positive angle. It starts from this point, moving towards this, okay, past 180 degrees, and the angle here is 210 degrees. Similarly for this one, this is also a positive angle. Okay, it follows the counterclockwise rotation. Now, this is an example of clockwise rotation of angles. So this is also known as negative angles. It starts from this line going downwards here. So this is negative 30 degrees. And if you move on, it will become negative 60. Further downwards becomes negative 90, and so on. So this becomes negative 120. This is negative 150, and then it reaches this straight line here. So this becomes negative 180 degrees. Very simple idea, positive and negative angle. Now let's move on to the meaning of coterminal angles. So coterminal angles are angles that share the same initial side and terminal side. So initial side is the starting point and the terminal side is the ending side. So how to find the coterminal angles? So either you add or subtract 2 pi. So 2 pi is in radian, and the degree is 360 degrees. So it depends on the question whether the angle is given in radians or degrees. Now, I'm going to show you a simple example for this one, for this diagram here. So this is a simple diagram. You can see that for this one here, so this is 55 degrees. And coterminal angles, according to the definition, are the angles that share the same initial side and terminal side. So if you look at this degree, so this is initial side, and it is going on in this direction, going further down, completing the circle, and end up on the same side as 55 degrees here. So this is the side. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight the terminal side for 55 degrees. So this is the terminal side of 55 degrees. This is the initial side of 55 degrees. So therefore, the coterminal angle is the angle that shares the same initial side and terminal side. So for this one, it starts from the same initial side and it goes downwards, completing a circle, and go on some more, and it stops at the same terminal side. And the angle here is 415 degrees. So 415 degrees, it's is the coterminal angle of 55 degrees. Now, we can also find another angle. So if you have this angle starting from this point, so this is the initial side, share the same initial side, and it goes on in this direction. So it is the clockwise rotation, going some more further up and stop right there, sharing the same terminal side. So this is an angle of negative 305 degrees. Why is it negative? Because it is moving in a clockwise rotation, and this is given the notation of negative angle, so it is negative 305 degrees. This is also the coterminal angle to 55 degrees. Okay, let us try and do this simple example. Find a positive and a negative coterminal angles to angle A, where A is negative 200 degrees. So it will be helpful if you can actually sketch the angle. So negative 200 means it starts from this point going in this direction, which is following the clockwise rotation. So it passes 90 degrees and 180 degrees and further up a bit. So this could be our angle, which is negative 200. So this is negative 200 degrees. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to highlight. I'm just going to highlight the initial side. So this is the initial side. This is the initial side, and this is the terminal side. Okay, so now we need to find the positive and negative coterminal angle. So clearly the positive angle can be from this side. So it starts from this point. This is the same initial side, and it will go in this direction, and it will stop here. So again, sharing the same terminal side. So this is the angle that we are looking for, positive angle. And since this angle is negative 200, this angle must be 160 degrees. Okay, so this is 160 degrees. Alright, next, okay, so we have managed to find this answer. The positive angle is 160 degrees. Now, how about another angle, which is negative angle, negative coterminal angles? So for negative coterminal angles, it has to start from this side, similar side, and it's going down in this direction because it says it's looking for a negative angle. And if I stop here, then there's no point because the angle here will be the same as negative 200. So I'm going to have to make another round. And then I will stop here. So that means I have to add another round of 360 degrees. So this is the meaning of the statement given here. So the next coterminal angle is negative 200 plus another negative 360 degrees, which is equal to negative 560 degrees. So these are the two angles which are the coterminal angles to angle A, equals to negative 200 degrees. Alright, next, let's talk about the idea of reference angle. So basically, any angle on the xy plane has a reference angle. The reference angle is greater than 0 but less than 90 degrees. So in other words, a reference angle is an acute angle. Now, reference angle is always positive. That means you are looking at this direction, the positive, the counter clockwise rotation, regardless of which quadrant it is in. Excuse me. Now, the use of reference angles is to simplify the calculation of the values of the trigonometric functions at various angles. So in other words, you don't need to use the calculator, you can just rely on the use of reference angles. More examples will be given on the next slide, which will be on the next video. So in this video, I'm just going to explain the idea of reference angle. And as you can see from this diagram here, if you have the standard angle is represented by the green theta. You can think of it as the angle that you actually wish to find, wish to investigate. So this is the standard angle. Okay, so this is the theta that you are looking for. And in order to find, for example, you may want to find what is tangent of theta or cosine of theta and so on. Instead of dealing with this theta, we can deal with the reference angle. So we can dealing with the reference angle, which is represented by the red colored theta. So when you have the original theta up to this point, your reference theta will be on the second quadrant. So this is the reference theta. So the reference theta is measured as such. Similarly, if your original standard angle is just on the first quadrant, therefore your reference theta will be the same as your standard angle. So this is your reference theta. Now let's say this is your standard angle. So because of that, your reference angle will be on this side. Okay, will be on this side. So this is on the third quadrant. And finally, if let's say your standard angle is up to this point here, so now your reference angle will be on this side, on the fourth quadrant. Okay, so I hope you can see clearly that when it comes to reference angle, you are having the side here on the x-axis. Okay, so this is x-axis. You are just incorporating the use of x-axis over here, and the rest is given by this line. So these two lines constitute the reference angle. Okay. Alright, I think maybe this will become more clear when we look at the examples. So I think I just have to stop here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.